Let me tell you something that might just shake your spirit awake. Asterisk asterisk, you don't have to prove your worth to people who were never meant to see it. Asterisk asterisk, some of us have spent years trying to be enough for people who made up their minds long ago that we'd never measure up. You bend, you shrink, you sacrifice, and still they look at you like you're too much and not enough all at the same time. But hear me today, that is not your burden to carry. Asterisk asterisk, your worth is not determined by their blindness. Asterisk asterisk, if they can't see the value in you, that doesn't mean you're worthless. It means they're spiritually nearsighted, and it's not your job to keep giving discounts on your soul just to make people comfortable. Some of y'all have been shrinking for so long you've forgotten your real size. You keep editing yourself down, apologizing for your light, dulling your shine so people who are insecure won't feel outshined. But what if I told you the very thing they dislike in you is the thing God designed to break chains? You've been chasing validation like a thirsty traveler in a desert, hoping a drop of their approval will quench your soul. But let me ask you this. Asterisk asterisk, when did you forget who you are? Asterisk asterisk, when did you allow someone's indifference to redefine your identity? The truth is, asterisk asterisk, you were already chosen before you ever tried to be accepted. Asterisk asterisk, you were already approved before you ever auditioned. God doesn't wait for people's opinions before he anoints. He doesn't need a poll or a like or a text back to declare your value. You keep holding on, thinking maybe, just maybe, they'll change, that if you love them harder, wait longer, show up more, then they'll see you. But let me tell you something that might save your sanity. Asterisk asterisk, some people don't care about you because they don't even care about themselves. Asterisk asterisk, they're empty, and you keep trying to draw water from a dry well. That's not partnership, that's punishment. There's a pain that comes when you realize the people you were loyal to weren't loyal to you. There's a quiet breaking when you see you were always the one calling, the one checking in, the one praying and hoping and fighting for a connection that only ever went one way. But don't let that pain convince you that you're less than. No, asterisk asterisk, it's evidence of your depth, not a denial of your worth. Asterisk asterisk, sometimes the greatest proof of your value is how much people try to ignore it, because they know, deep down, they could never match it. And instead of rising to meet you, they retreat, they ridicule, they reject. Not because you're weak, but because you remind them of everything they haven't become. So here's the truth, raw and unfiltered. Asterisk asterisk, you don't need them to see you to be seen. Asterisk asterisk, you don't need their applause to walk in your purpose. You are not for everyone, and that's not a curse, it's confirmation. The right people won't overlook you. They won't make you earn what should be freely given. Respect, love, loyalty. If you don't recognize your own value, you'll stay trapped in cycles with people who only take and never give. You'll let them drain your peace, rob your joy, and convince you that love must always hurt. But that's not love, that's bondage. Asterisk asterisk, free yourself. Asterisk asterisk, not out of spite, not out of bitterness, but out of truth, out of clarity, out of the deep and sacred realization that you are more than enough. And when you walk in that truth, when you live from that place, then and only then will you begin to attract people who don't need to be convinced to care. They'll show up ready to honor what God has already declared. Asterisk, you are worthy. Asterisk, now, once you begin to recognize your worth, the next step, listen to me now, the next step is learning to discern who's really for you and who's just asterisk around asterisk you. Because just because they're walking beside you doesn't mean they're walking asterisk with asterisk you. Some people are in your life not to lift you, but to leech off you. Not to build with you, but to break you slowly, piece by piece, under the disguise of familiarity. And if you don't learn how to discern that difference, you'll keep giving yourself to people who only drain you in return. There's a difference between someone who's loyal to your face and someone who's loyal to your future. It's not about who claps when you're in the room. It's about who fights for you when you're not in it. Watch the ones who go silent when you succeed. Watch the ones who always have something slick to say when you're trying to grow. There's something spiritual about that kind of resistance, because when you're trying to go higher, the enemy doesn't send strangers. He sends people close, people you love, people you trusted, people you never imagined would be the reason you started questioning yourself. You keep wondering why you're exhausted, why your spirit feels heavy, why your peace is inconsistent. It's not always the job. It's not always the stress. Sometimes it's the people you've allowed to sit at your table who bring nothing but poison on their tongue and envy in their heart. And yet you keep feeding them, loving them, covering them, hoping they'll change, hoping they'll finally care. But some people only know how to take, and the longer you let them, the more you lose pieces of yourself. Hear me, asterisk, asterisk, everybody can't go where you're going. Asterisk, asterisk, some folks are seasonal. Some were only meant to teach you, not travel with you. But because you hate the idea of being alone, you let them linger. You let them stay, even when their presence starts costing you your peace, your joy, your clarity. And let me tell you, anything that costs you asterisk that asterisk much is too expensive. You've got to get to the place where you can say, I see you now. I see what you bring. I see the weight, the games, the guilt trips, and I choose to be free. Because sometimes discernment isn't about what someone asterisk did asterisk. It's about what your spirit asterisk senses asterisk. And you've got to trust that. Trust what doesn't sit right. Trust what makes you feel smaller every time they come around. Trust what drains your light, dims your fire, silences your voice. You're not obligated to keep people in your life just because you've known them a long time. Time doesn't equal loyalty. Proximity doesn't equal purpose. Some people are familiar, but they're not fruitful. They're comfortable, but they're not asterisk called asterisk to you. And if you don't learn to discern the difference, you'll stay stuck in circles that were never meant to be cycles. This is not about hate. This is about healing. This is not about arrogance. This is about alignment. When God is trying to take you higher, he starts revealing who can't breathe at your next altitude. And if you're wise, you won't resent that. You'll release it, because releasing isn't losing. Releasing is choosing asterisk you asterisk. So yes, free yourself. Free yourself from the ones who take but don't give, from the ones who smile but never support, from the ones who only show up when it benefits them. And when you let go of what was never real, you make room for what was always meant. You're not being cruel. You're being clear. You're choosing peace over performance, truth over tradition, destiny over dead weight, and that right there is freedom. Now once you start recognizing your worth and discerning who's truly for you, there comes a moment that tests your courage. It's the moment where you have to let go. And that, my friend, is where most people get stuck. Because we don't talk enough about how hard it is to release what you've been loyal to, even when it's hurting you. We don't talk about how uncomfortable it feels to walk away from people you've prayed for, cried over and carried, just to realize they were never meant to come with you into your next season. But hear me, asterisk asterisk, you cannot rise while carrying what was designed to keep you grounded. Asterisk asterisk, some things, some people, some relationships are not chains, they are anchors, and while anchors may feel safe and familiar, they will never let you fly. You've got dreams, you've got purpose, but you're trying to build altitude with dead weight strapped to your spirit, and then you wonder why it feels like you're going nowhere. Letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. There's nothing holy about holding on to pain. There's no reward in dragging dysfunction into your future out of guilt or obligation. Some of you are so busy trying to be loyal to everyone else, you've been disloyal to asterisk yourself asterisk. You've betrayed your own peace. ignored your own needs, silenced your own voice, all to maintain connections that should have been cut long ago. But God didn't call you to carry the weight of everyone's brokenness. Yes, you can love them. Yes, you can pray for them. But no, you don't have to destroy yourself to save them. That's not strength. That's slow spiritual suicide. You were never meant to be their savior. That's God's job. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is release them . Release the friendship, the relationship, the connection, so both of you can heal. You've got to stop confusing attachment with assignment. Just because they've been with you doesn't mean they're meant to go forward with you. Some people were part of your history, but they are not part of your destiny. You can't walk in freedom while still tied to what broke you. You can't embrace healing while still protecting what caused the wound. And yes, it hurts. Yes, letting go stings, because we've been conditioned to think that holding on means we care. But real care, real love, real freedom, sometimes they begin at goodbye. And sometimes the most anointed thing you can do is pack up your piece and move on. You don't have to make a scene. You don't have to argue. You don't need their permission or their understanding. Just a quiet decision in your soul that says, I choose me this time. Because when you release what's been draining you, you make space for what's been waiting for you. You make room for divine connections, for real joy, for quiet mornings where your heart isn't heavy and your thoughts aren't tangled up in confusion and guilt. Release to rise. That's not just a phrase, it's a posture. It's a way of living that says, I will not stay stuck for the sake of people who are content with stagnant living. You were created to soar, and God never designed you to carry what keeps you crawling. It's time to let go. Let go of the phone calls that leave you anxious. Let go of the one-sided efforts. Let go of the fake support and the forced conversations. Because when you finally release the weight, something shifts. Your spirit lifts, your vision clears, your purpose breathes again, and you begin to realize this is what freedom feels like. And once you've released the weight, once you've let go of the people and patterns that were holding you down, something powerful begins to happen. You start seeing things clearly. You begin to notice how low the bar was set. You begin to realize just how little you were accepting from people who claim to care. And suddenly the truth hits you. You've been settling for breadcrumbs while starving for real connection. For too long, you've been surviving off of just enough. Just enough attention to keep hoping. Just enough kindness to keep hanging on. Just enough words to keep your heart confused. And all the while, you were pouring out full meals of love, of time, of loyalty, only to receive scraps in return. Let me say it plain. Stop settling for breadcrumbs from people who would feast on your effort, but never offer you a seat at their table. Love is not supposed to feel like a test you keep failing. Relationships are not meant to be endless auditions for a role you'll never be cast in. Some of you have spent years trying to prove that you're worthy of basic respect, that you deserve consistency, that your voice matters, and that constant performing, that constant striving. It's not love, it's survival. And you were not created to survive in spaces that were never built to honor your soul. Let me tell you something you may have forgotten while waiting for them to show up for you. You don't have to beg for what you deserve. You don't have to shrink to be seen. You don't have to overextend yourself to matter. If they only respond when you pull away, if they only care when you're gone too long, if they only show up when they need something, then that's not love, that's convenience. And you were never meant to be someone's backup plan, emotional crutch, or emergency contact when their real life falls apart. You were created for more than that. There is nothing noble about staying in places where you are tolerated but never treasured. There is no strength in pretending you're okay with being an afterthought, and no, you're not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong people. The ones who are meant for you won't make you beg. They won't give you leftovers. They won't make you feel like you're asking for the impossible when all you're asking for is honesty, effort, and presence. You deserve someone who doesn't flinch when you speak truth. Someone who doesn't go silent when you need support. Someone who sees you not just your utility, not just your potential, but asterisk you. Asterisk because love without effort is just laziness, and connection without consistency is just chaos. And you've lived in chaos long enough. It's time to raise the standard. It's time to stop confusing intensity with intimacy. Just because it's passionate doesn't mean it's purposeful. Just because it feels familiar doesn't mean it's healthy. You've got to stop mistaking emotional highs and lows for love. Because real love doesn't drain you, it grounds you. So walk away from the table where love is served cold and commitment comes with conditions. Walk away from the voices that only speak when you're doing for them. Walk away from the text threads full of silence and the calls that never come unless you make them. Because the longer you sit in places that don't feed you, the more you begin to believe you don't deserve to be full. But I came to remind you, you do. You deserve love that shows up, not just speaks up. You deserve consistency without confusion. You deserve a love that nourishes, not one that leaves you spiritually malnourished. And when you stop settling for breadcrumbs, you give yourself permission to be fed in fullness. That, right there, that's when the healing begins. That's when you stop striving and start thriving. That's when you finally start walking like you know who you are. And now that your eyes are open to your worth, open to who's for you, open to what's been holding you back, it's time for something deeper. It's time to protect what you've reclaimed. Because peace isn't just something you stumble upon. Peace is something you guard. You don't get free just to fall back into the same traps. You don't heal just to reopen the wound. If you want to stay free, you have to be intentional about who you let close. Because not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Not everyone should be sitting in your inner circle. Some of you have been too open, too available, too exposed to people who haven't earned the right to handle your vulnerability. You give them your time, your energy, your thought, only to feel worse after every interaction, and you wonder why you feel anxious, scattered, emotionally depleted. Let me tell you why. Because your soul is being contaminated by company that carries confusion. You're letting chaos in the front door and expecting peace to stay in the house. You've got to learn how to guard your circle. That means being selective, not just social. That means valuing quality over quantity. Everybody doesn't deserve your number. Everybody doesn't deserve your story. Everybody doesn't deserve your presence. You're not being cold. You're being wise. Because every time you allow someone into your space, you're giving them the power to affect your atmosphere. And some people come in smiling but bring clouds. Some people come in acting interested but leave you feeling invisible. Guarding your circle isn't about being suspicious. It's about being safe. You've been through too much to keep handing your heart to people who mishandle it. You've cried too many nights to keep giving your peace to people who play games with your loyalty. You've prayed too hard to let your spirit be polluted by people who can't carry what you carry. And here's the truth. It's not just about people doing you wrong. Sometimes it's about people who simply aren't right for where you're going. They don't have to be evil to be a distraction. They don't have to be toxic to be wrong for your calling. Some folks are good people, but they bring the wrong energy. They don't speak life. They don't challenge you. They don't support you when you step into growth. They just want you to stay where it's familiar, where they're comfortable, but growth offends comfort. And when God starts stretching you, the wrong people will start shrinking away, or worse, trying to shrink you. That's why your circle has to be filled with people who celebrate your evolution, not resent it. People who aren't intimidated by your healing. People who pray for your peace, not provoke your pain. You need people around you who are healthy enough to love you without controlling you, strong enough to support you without competing with you, whole enough to listen without judgment and speak without poison. Because the truth is, your future is too big, your calling too important, your spirit too valuable to keep giving front row seats to people who only show up to spectate, not to support. So yes, protect your space, guard your joy like treasure, defend your peace like it's sacred, because it is. And if someone has to be constantly explained, constantly defended, constantly forgiven for the same things, they are not adding to your life, they're subtracting from it. Freedom isn't just about cutting ties. It's about protecting what you gain after the cut. Peace isn't passive, it's a choice every single day. And when you choose to surround yourself with those who feed your spirit instead of draining it, you'll discover what peace really feels like. Not the absence of noise, but the presence of alignment. And in that space, you'll flourish like never before. And after you've recognized your worth, discerned who's for you, released what held you back, refused to settle, and guarded your peace, there comes a sacred turning point, the moment you start walking forward with purpose. Not timidly, not halfway, not with one foot in the past and the other in the promise, but fully, freely, and fiercely stepping into everything that was always meant for you. Because freedom isn't just about what you leave behind, it's about what you walk into. See, some of you have been so focused on who left, what hurt, and where it broke, that you haven't yet embraced what's waiting for you. But hear me, your future doesn't live in the pain of your past, it lives in the courage of your next step. And if you spend all your time looking back, you'll miss the doors that are opening right in front of you. Because forward is calling, purpose is calling, destiny is calling, but you've got to answer it with your feet. You've cried enough, you've wrestled enough, you've begged enough, you've done enough trying to fix what was never meant to fit. Now it's time to build something new. It's time to invest in the version of yourself that's been buried under disappointment, fear, and false connections. It's time to breathe again, not out of survival, but out of clarity, out of alignment, out of the realization that what's ahead of you is greater than anything you've walked away from. But let me tell you something. Freedom is not passive. It demands intention. You don't stumble into wholeness. You don't accidentally live with purpose. You've got to choose it daily. You've got to speak life over yourself even when it's quiet around you. You've got to wake up and decide, I'm not going back. I've come too far, I've healed too much, I've seen too much. Because going back to people who didn't care isn't an option when you've started loving yourself the way God intended you to be loved. This next chapter is not about proving anything. It's not about revenge. It's not about showing them what they lost. No, this chapter is about becoming. Becoming all that was buried beneath the weight of pleasing people. Becoming the bold, whole, peaceful, powerful person you were always created to be. Not because they changed, not because they came back, but because you finally decided you are enough without them. You see, the true measure of healing isn't how well you avoid the pain, it's how freely you walk without it. It's not in pretending you were never hurt. It's in deciding that your healing will speak louder than your history, that your growth will outlive their absence, that your joy is not contingent upon their presence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your peace. You don't need permission to thrive. You don't need validation to walk tall. All you need is the quiet confidence that says, I am no longer entertaining spaces that question what God already confirmed. And when you move like that, doors begin to open, right people begin to show up, new peace begins to settle in, and your spirit finally gets to asterisk rest. Asterisk so walk forward, not with fear, not with bitterness, not with a grudge, but with vision, with hope, with expectation. Let your future see you coming whole. Let your destiny meet a version of you that's no longer chained to approval, no longer surviving on crumbs, no longer shrinking to be accepted. Let it meet the asterisk real asterisk you, the free you, the focused you, because when you start walking in that kind of freedom, you don't have to chase anything. What's meant for you begins to recognize you. Opportunities start finding you. Peace follows you, and love asterisk real asterisk love meets you where you are, not where you pretend to be. That is the beauty of letting go of those who don't care. You don't just get free from them. You get free to become asterisk you. Asterisk